What's up, guys? Your boy Benny. Caught on camera last week was the single most calculated and cold-blooded assassination in my lifetime, when the United Healthcare CEO was shot multiple times with a very sophisticated weapon that was virtually silent. Hundreds of people watching in the broad daylight of New York City, and the assassin was able to escape, leaving clues and signals at the crime scene. And it was chilling to the bones because this assassin was clearly a professional, was a criminal mastermind, and was somebody who, well, may never get caught because they escaped into Central Park. Surely they're on their way to Ecuador at this point, right? Nope, they're eating a hash brown at McDonald's. Huh? But why would you be eating a hash brown at McDonald's in Pennsylvania with a bag full of evidence proving you are the killer? It don't make no sense, but this is what's going on. We're going to read you the news, and now the lawyer for Luigi Mangione is speaking, saying there's no evidence connecting his client to the crime. We'll let you listen to that and listen to the full explanation. Authorities have released new photos of Luigi Mangione, the man accused of killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. He has been seen casually eating a hash brown. I mean, like, if you're a criminal mastermind, at least use the drive-through, right? Like, I don't get it. I don't understand. The best explanation here is that he wanted to be caught. I mean, this is the only way. This is the only explanation, is that he's Joker. He wanted to get caught. That's it. If he is indeed the killer. Again, the lawyer's saying that nobody's proved anything, but here's more of the reporting. Again, it just doesn't make any sense. By the way, there are these yokels there in the Altoona, Pennsylvania McDonald's that were saying, hey, look at that guy. He looks like the killer. They were like making fun of him, saying he looks like the killer. And like they meandered around and slowly called the cops, and the cops slowly rolled up. I mean, this is not criminal mastermind stuff. This is literally the dumbest single criminal that ever existed. But it don't make no sense, again, because this kid was the valedictorian, Ivy League masters, educated, app developer, gamer. This kid was smart. This kid had a high IQ. None of it makes any sense to me, man. The gun CEO, killing suspect, Luigi Mangione, had upon his arrest matches shell casings from the crime scene. Again, he was literally arrested with a bag of evidence on his person. 3D printed gun Luigi Mangione had when he was arrested in Pennsylvania matches the shell casings found at the crime scene. New York Police Commissioner said Wednesday authorities continue to investigate the motive for the killing. Mangione's fingerprints match those investigators found on items near the crime scene. A 9mm shell casing had delay, deny, and depose written across them. One word per bullet. So, I mean, it is like the Joker. You know, it's like leaving clues, sophisticated, sending a message. Police have been looking for whether the words match the 2010 book critiquing the insurance company. First, we got the gun in question back from Pennsylvania. It's now the New York Police Department Crime Lab. We are unable to match the gun to the 3 shell casings that we found. We were able to match the gun to the crime scene of the homicide. More headlines. Murder suspect Luigi Mangione's notebook called Whack of CEO targeted precise. Notebook found with Luigi Mangione contains a description of killing a CEO that matches the details of the murder. It's like super premeditated. I mean, listen, you watch the video and it does seem very premeditated. Like he thought about this, right? Clearly. That's why it doesn't make any sense. Again, he must have wanted to get caught. Must have wanted to get caught. Why, though? The notebook was discovered when the Ivy League graduate was arrested in Altoona, Pennsylvania. They found the gun, the suppressor, the ammunition. The fingerprints taken from Mangione match the fingerprints found near the Hilton Hotel in Manhattan. So he's writing about it. He's writing about it in his notebook. What do? A section of the notebook says. You whack the CEO at the annual parasitic bean computer counter convention. The notebook says it's targeted, precise, and it doesn't risk innocence. Yikes. The notebook was discovered when the Ivy League graduate was arrested at a McDonald's. New York Police Department matches handgun fingerprints. CEO slaying. Okay, well, there you go. So the evidence seems to be piling up right now. His motive seems to be, calling them parasites, saying that they had it coming. You whack the CEO. Targeted. Jeez. So this is what they're doing now. Goodness gracious. Okay, so let's move on to the lawyer. A lot of friends saying their last conversation seemed like a cry for help. Some people noting that, and this is true, that his ex-account had an x-ray of his spine, that he had a horrible spine injury, and that it might have left him impotent. These are like the official narratives. I don't know. It's so mysterious. The whole thing is, again, the whole thing don't make no sense. But here we are. Mangione's lawyer says there is no evidence linking his client to the shooting of the United Healthcare CEO, Brian Thompson. Well, do you believe him? Here we go.
Attorney Thomas Dickey addressing the charges against his client while speaking to reporters just a few minutes ago. Take a listen.
Listen, I haven't seen any evidence that says that he's the shooter. So that's, like I said earlier, and I wasn't kidding around. A couple of things. If you're going to report something, report accurately. And remember, and this is not just a small thing, the fundamental concept of American justice is the presumption of innocence, and until you're proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. And I've seen zero evidence at this point.
He said across the board he anticipates that his client, Mangione, will likely plead not guilty, as you said, to the charges there in Pennsylvania for that ghost gun and fake IDs that police said that they found on him when he was arrested, and that when those murder charges officially come down from New York, that they anticipate pleading not guilty there as well. He's saying he hasn't seen any evidence that his client is the shooter. He's saying he should be presumed innocent for now. And we know that Dickey was hired just this afternoon. He's a private criminal defense attorney in that Pennsylvania area obtained by Mangione.
Okay, I mean, yes, of course, innocent until proven guilty. Something crazy happened on the way into the courthouse, right? He had a bit of a snap yesterday, and, who wouldn't snap? This is our first time hearing Mangione on camera.
And it's completely out of touch. And it's insult to the intelligence of the American people. It's lived experience.
Yeah. Still tough to make out.
Insult to the intelligence of the American people and our lived experience is what he says. I've been a lawyer for 30 years, and there's a lot more to the Luigi Mangione story than we're being told. I'm highly concerned that his claim that the evidence was planted on him. We'll be looking into this and continuing to report on the case impartially. Luigi Mangione says that he hasn't seen any evidence that the client was the shooter. The planting of the evidence part was a bunch of cash, like a pile of cash, a bunch of foreign cash was found on the guy's person. And he said in court, that ain't mine. Somebody planted that, so I don't know. Luigi Mangione's lawyers told Chris Cuomo that there was no evidence that his client shot, but he has been on the case for only 12 hours. So we'll see. We'll see. I wonder if the family will hire high-powered, heavy-hitting lawyers to represent on the murder charges in New York, or if Luigi will refuse to go to the public defender on principle. We'll see. We'll see. This is making a lot of news. And, of course, this, what you would call an outburst made a lot of news, and then it gets manhandled. Final thing. People are like, well, he hurt his back, and he must have gone crazy. And, yeah, the SSRIs and antipsychotics and stuff like that, and opioids that they give you when you hurt your back, it does, like when you break your bones, it does definitely cause you to go nuts. I mean, that stuff's true, and a lot of that stuff I think should be outlawed, quite frankly. But here's the thing that I still can't wrap my head around, is this. Why are you so angry at the healthcare system when your family is in healthcare? His family's richer than the United Healthcare CEO. His family owns hospitals and surgical centers all throughout Baltimore. Like, you couldn't go with them? Like, why you're angry at your family's business? It's like his family. He comes from like a healthcare dynasty. It doesn't make any, something here is super off. So we'll stay on it. We'll stay on it. It's very strange, ladies and gentlemen. So we don't really know. Here's the guy's lawyer on Chris Cuomo's show last night on News Nation, explaining. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. It's your boy Benny. See ya.
First exclusive interview on behalf of the accused is counsel Thomas Dickey, attorney for the 26-year-old man charged in the murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Counsel, thank you for joining us.
And thank you, Chris.
So your client had an opportunity to say you got the wrong guy, never did. He apologizes in his manifesto for the pain he has caused. He gave voice to his motivation today in front of the cameras, and yet am I correct that you believe you don't think he did it?
Well, Chris, one thing I always liked about watching you is you're a lawyer, okay? So I don't know
Yes.
if you've done much criminal work or not, but my client hasn't faced any actual criminal charges from New York yet. So he hasn't had an opportunity to make any plea. My anticipation is going to be when and if that happens, he's going to plead not guilty. I mean, we've seen no evidence. We've seen nothing. And I was reminding people today about your talk about America a little bit and what some wonderful things about this country, and particularly in the criminal justice system, and that's the presumption of innocence. And I don't want people to jump to, these prejudgment things because nobody would ever want that if they were accused or one of their loved ones were accused. And as the big hearing today, I haven't seen any evidence yet. I don't even know if this is him or whatever. So we're going to test those waters and give the government a chance to bring some evidence forward.
Do the job. Let me ask you something. In terms of developing why he would not be responsible, what understanding do you have about this quiet period that this guy had where nobody could get in touch with him after his surgery, where people were worried about him, that led his family to report him missing? What do you know about that period?
I know nothing about that, Chris, so I wouldn't comment on that, and I would only be speculating, and I don't even know what's out there.
But don't you have to? I mean, that's pretty much all you have, isn't it?
Well, yeah, Chris, and like I said, I'm not, if I disappoint you, I'm sorry and too bad, but I've been involved in this case for, probably less than, 12 hours now. And I've, as a lawyer should do, is I got to look at evidence, and I'm not going to go by conjecture and opinions and speculation, what people think. We as lawyers look at evidence. So, tomorrow will be another day, and we're gonna start looking into that.
Have you had a chance to speak to your client?
I have.
And how did you meet him in terms of his demeanor and disposition towards this?
As I told everybody today, Chris, my idea was to develop a relationship, a bond, so to speak, an attorney-client relationship, where I want to have him have trust and faith in me, and vice versa. And I thought that we accomplished that today, and so I'm pleased with that in the short time we've had together.
Is there anything he wanted you to express to the rest of us?
Not really. And if he did, Chris, you're familiar with the attorney-client privilege, and I can't talk, and I won't talk about anything.
That's why I asked you. That's why I asked you, did he ask you to express anything to the rest of us? Not, did he tell you a secret that you feel like sharing?
Well, no, if you ask me what he asked me, that is a conversation we've had, and I think that's attorney-client privilege, and I'm not going to touch that. In all due respect.
That's not what I'm asking. How did you assess him in terms of, does he seem okay to you? Did he seem healthy? Did he seem able to focus and understand you? Did he seem balanced?
Well, I think he made some knowing decisions today when we decided that we're challenging this extradition. I don't make those evaluations necessarily at this level, and so he seemed to understand my questions. He seemed to be able to interact with me, and so I was pleased with that.
How would you assess his mood? Did he seem upset? Did he seem worried?
Well, here's what I tell everybody, Chris, today is, use your common sense. You're a young man or an old man, whoever you are, and you're accused of, he hasn't been accused yet that I've seen, But the talk and the anticipation, probably out there is that he may be charged with a very serious offense. He's certainly behind bars, which I believe is wrong. I felt that the judge should have set bail today.